welcome to Rice and Crafts. This is episode 2 of our Christmas in July. I am doing another project for my craft fairs, and what I am making is this cute little 4-pack Hershey Nugget holder. I do 4 nuggets in mine, and it sells really well. Like every year I sell, I can't even tell you how many. We've not done a great job of counting, but we spend all year, all season making these because they sell that well. So, this is a tutorial I saw by Rejoice and Create. And she shows you how to make this one single little holder, which is super cute, but I have to make like 200 of these to get through the season. So I figured out how to take her tutorial and morph it into many 2-packs. So what we're going to start with is we are starting with a piece of cardstock. This is 9 3/4 this way by 12. This is a 12 by 12 sheet that I cut down to 9 3/4. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to grab my scoreboard. I'm going to grab my scoring tool. And on the 9 3/4 inch side, we are going to score at 1 1/4, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 1/8, and 9 1/8. And on the 12 by 12 inch side, you're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 3/4, 9 3/4, and 10 3/4. And we're done with that. The next thing we're going to need is our trimmer, and I'm going to pull out my old trusty workhorse here. And get this turned around this way. All right, so we've got 2 sets of score lines that are on our 12 inch side that are close together here. That's where we're going to start cutting. And we are going to cut at 3 1/2. Take it out. We're going to slide it down. 3 1/2 again. And then you're going to flip your paper so that your score marks are over here, and you've got this wide area with no up and down score lines. And again, you're going to line it up at 3 1/2 and cut. And this is your leftover piece. We do not need that. You're also going to need some patterned paper. And I'm only going to actually put one of these together, so I only cut for one. So you're going to need 2 pieces of 2 1/8 by 1 7/8. I got 2 of them here. You're going to need 2 pieces of 1 7/8 by 7/8. Again, 2. And you will need 2 1 1/8 by 7/8. And that's pattern paper you're going to need. Sorry. To make a handle, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I thought it was cute, so I decided to do it. You're going to need some kind of punch. I have this old, super old oval punch, and it punches a really small oval. So I'm using that one because my first trial I used a bigger one, and it's just too big. But you live, you learn. Now, I'm going to eventually put some kind of sentiment on here. I'm not doing it today, because I don't have a sentiment for chocolate. I need to find a stamp set that has chocolate sayings. And I have not got one, which was dumbfounding for me. But so that's why you're not going to see me decorate it today. So I'm going to grab one of the 3 that we just cut. And to start trimming, to put our box together, we are going to start... Where did I put those scissors? I'm going to angle over here. We've got this small strip here, and this is the 9 1/8 inch score line here. So I'm cutting just like I scored. 1 1/4 is here, 9 1/8 is here. I'm gonna angle my cut here, and I'm gonna cut the score line off through the first 3 boxes. And again, I'm going to cut the score line completely off. Just like that. That first 3, gone. Don't need them. And now we're left with a square, a rectangle, a square, and a rectangle. And you're going to cut straight up on the rectangle side and notch on the square side. Again, straight up on the rectangle, notch the square. All right, and then we're going to turn it upside down. And we're going to work on the top. This piece right here is going to be where you punch your handle. So I'm going to, on the side here, again, I'm going to angle, and then I'm going to cut. And I go ahead and cut the score line off. So you've got this angled glue tab here. You can trim it a little bit if you want. I don't know that it's strictly necessary, but that's what she did, so that's what I do. And then on the other side of your handle, again, you're going to cut straight down. And then the rest of the top, you're going to cut straight up your score line. And you're going to take that whole top part off. And you want to try and get that straight, but y'all know I'm not good at cutting straight lines. So I do the best that I can. Okay, and I choose to round my tops here. You don't have to do that. It's a personal choice. So I'm going to grab my corner chomper here by We Are Memory Keepers. And I'm going to go ahead and chomp that. And then I'm going to chomp the pattern paper as well and round that. Now, I'm going to set that aside. We're done with that. I'm going to go ahead and put my pattern paper on because it works out better. Well, to get your handle in there, it's got to be on. Unless you want to complicate it, and I am not for complicating things. All right, I'll do that. Flip it over. And we'll go ahead and get that like that. All right, now then, I'm going to grab a scrap piece here. And I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little template because I am awful at lining a punch up. I am straight up awful at it. Okay. So, I want that about there, maybe. Okay. Let's see if I can't hold that better. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my punch that I just moved my little template on. And we'll go ahead and just punch that out. Yeah, that's not too bad. Maybe, yeah, it's a little off. I'd have done better if I'd have just tried to eyeball it myself. Alright, let's go ahead and put this guy together. So what we're going to do is we are going to flip this guy over like this. You're going to fold right there on your back. And our little glue tab here, we're going to put glue on this top side. And then you fold on the next score line, just like that. And you're going to burnish that. We're going to flip this over, and you've got a little rectangle there. And you're going to fold on your score line again, and line up the top, and burnish it. And that's the start of our box. You can go ahead and open it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue on these flaps here. And we're going to fold that up. And I'm going to put some glue on that rectangle flap there. And I'm going to close our bottom up. You can use bone folder. I just kind of push down with my fingers. Seems to work. And we're going to bring in our 2 remaining pieces of pattern paper. Now, if you wanted to, you could just cut one long piece and wrap it all the way around. But that's just math. I can cut little rectangles. But I want something to be a crisp corner, and I have a hard time doing that with a long strip of cardstock. So I just do it this way. So we will go ahead and I'll put this last one on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pop the pin in my glue. And I have some little glue dots here that I have cut in half. And I'm going to grab, oh, those aren't sorted. That's why they look weird. Grab a bag here. And I've got my wrapped Hershey Nuggets here. Okay, we've got green, so I need some red paper here. There's that. Now, let's use the dark red. There we go. I like that better. Let's swap out that one with that one. There we go. Okay. And my mom was nice enough to wrap these for me. Thanks, Mom. It's very helpful not to have to sit here and do it. And I'm just going to take half of a glue dot and put it on the bottom of my Hershey Nugget. And I'm just going to slide it in my little case. Now, I am glue dotting these in because, well, frankly, I do 4 or 5 craft fair events over the Christmas holidays, from right before Thanksgiving through to like the week before Christmas. And so we're you know, we pack and unpack quite frequently. And if every time we pack or unpack these, we have to take the time to stick the little, Hershey Nuggets back in, that takes time. So by glue dotting these in, we don't have to do that. We can just go, okay, here are the nuggets, and out of the bag they go, or box, or whatever we are storing them in, and into the basket that we will display them in for the craft fair itself. And that is our finished little holder. And now I have like 197 of these to go. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I'll see y'all next time.